In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a framework that I use to stay on track. Okay, so this has to do with the commitment consistency bias. You've likely heard me talk about it. You're likely going to hear me talk about it more, but it's such a prevalent bias that I can't help but address it. So oftentimes what happens is we have this psychological bias that keeps us consistent with whatever we decide. It happens in relationships, it happens in first judgments of other people, it happens in religion, it happens in politics. We attach ourselves to one thing, whether that be Democrat, Republican, liberal. We attach ourselves to one religion, whether that be Christian, Buddhist, Satanist. We attach ourselves to one judgment of a person. They're mean or they're friendly, okay? And we just hold that judgment consistent in light of new information. All right. We stop being critical, basically, you know, and consistency is such a huge thing in our society and our human brain, understandably so, because we want to see consistency. It's helping us. It helps us to be able to process things easier. Whereas if things are constantly changing, we have to use more mental energy, and it kind of gets us more. It comes off as more of a threat, pretty much. But as Emerson said, consistency is foolish. And that could be even for a whole nother video. But one quote by Jeff Bezos that I really like goes something along the lines of, if someone doesn't change their mind frequently, they're drastically underestimating the complexity of our world. And I think it hits the nail on the head, is if you're not changing, adjusting, experimenting, you're drastically underestimating the complexity of our world. But anyhow, so this strategy, this framework that I use is whenever I'm getting ready to start something new, whether it be a diet, whether it be a new anything, whatever, I collect a lot of information on it. I hoard a lot of information on it, and I keep that in a place, whether that be a folder, maybe it's a bookmarks a folder in your browser, whether that be just a folder on your computer, maybe it's paper. And while I am pursuing that thing, I have that nearby so that in times of like difficulty or times of temptation, I can pick that up and act on commitment consistency, right? So first I start doing the action, which is commitment. But now that I'm learning about it, so I have this material hoarded and ready for me to just kind of, that are in line with where I'm going towards. I'm hoarding this material, I'm listening to it. Now it helps me to overcome those, you know, maybe roadblocks, those stumbles, those temptations. So it's like using commitment consistency to our benefit, okay? So this is something that I do, you know, for example, let's say you're trying to do high fat, low carb or something like that. Not trying, you're doing high fat, low carb. You collect information on that, whether it be research, videos, whatever, and just start listening to that throughout, so you can stay consistent with where you're trying to go, which is, you know, maintaining a high fat, low carb diet. And then eventually over time, things will take over, and like, you know, the energy and the effort will take over. It'll just become a habit, and you don't got to worry about constantly feeding yourself with that information. And that the length of time that takes, I find, just differs depending on yourself, what season you're in, that sort of thing.
But be careful with this. Be sure not to go overboard. When the experiments run its course, adjust, adapt, change, and always experiment. But during the experimentation process, try this tactic.
But simple little framework that I use that I thought I'd share, and maybe you guys can implement it, try it out yourself. All right, that's my video for today. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, please, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave comments down below if you'd like to, and I'll see you next weekend. Thanks for watching.